All right, my dears, it is about that time. My outside group, you should make sure you flip to this page, as you know, so you can start taking notes on the inside group's discussion. That way you can see the exit slip explaining what score they decided on and why. Inside group, I'm going to put up a picture just because I know your evidence isn't necessarily there, right? Because they reference the church. So I'm going to have the picture up here just as sort of a reference of this is what they're interpreting and are they using it effectively to prove their assertion and their thesis. All right, so my outside peeps, make sure you're on your note-taking page. Inside, guys, Keisha's going to be joining the outside group just for numbers sake. So my inside peeps, it's just sort of here. Keisha's going to be on the other group. All right? Please go ahead and make sure you speak loudly as well for our lovely video camera. No pressure, you guys got this. Please go ahead and begin.
Okay, I think we should go around and say what we scored and the definitions before we can jump to conclusions.
I said a 2.
2.
I was debating between 2 and 3.
I give it a 1.
2.
2. Okay, I thought it was a 1 because their original assertion was that Africa did not have external assistance in creating their civilization, right? And they didn't really explain like what the outside sources in Western Europe was, and like their evidence was very unclear. Like they didn't say like what the church did to help their society develop. And Western Europe was decentralized, and even with the church, they still didn't like come together. So their interpretation was kind of off.
I agree with what you're saying, Symphony, too, about that. And then, like, when they had the other part in the assertion saying both societies were able to establish a strong religious belief system, then I was kind of thrown off because they said one part of the assertion was external assistance in creating their own civilization, and then they went into religious belief. Like, it kind of threw me off because then now they're going to be explaining two things in one. It's like two pieces of evidence in one interpretation. So it's going to get people confused, so that's why I got confused.
Also, the interpretation was like incorrect in some parts. Like it says, to Numer in West Europe, they built the Washington National Cathedral. That's incorrect. Washington National Cathedral was in Washington, not in Western Europe. And they said it was a shared religion. Christianity wasn't a shared religion in Western Europe. It was the only religion in Western Europe at that time.
I see what all you guys are saying, and I completely agree. But I give it a 2 because I felt like even though it was kind of jumbled up and messy, I felt like they still had somewhat of an understanding of what was going on. So I said, separated from one, I thought, I said it had some rough use of word glue and repeated words. So I answered that they had some sort of word glue, so that separated from 1. And what separated from the 3 was that it didn't have any sound. Like I felt like it was really confusing, it didn't make any sense. So I just said just on the 2 because it somewhat is going to be understandable. Some people say it's confusing and it was. But I felt it was somewhat, but it had a lot of potential if it somewhat go somewhere. And also it connects to the assertion, somewhat connects to the assertion. So I thought there was a 2 and a 1 or 3.
To add on to Ajani's comment about somewhat of a word glue, like in line 14, intricate architecture and great height, I counted that as word glue because like they're like using the picture of the church and like those use of words, like they kind of like give a sense of word glue because it's like depicting like specific details from the church to support the religious belief.
Now thinking about what all of you guys said, I kind of go with Symphony, and I think that it's a 1 because their assertion set them up to answer 2 different questions, and they barely answered 1 because first they had to explain how Western Europe had external assistance, and then they had to explain how Christianity helped them get unity, and they barely described unity.
For example, in line 16, they said to enforce harmony among their society, churches were built as is shown in the illustration. First the person can't see the illustration, so like that's not helping the reader. And they don't. Well, I annotated it, so I said, how does this enforce harmony? So they don't explain, like they're giving you statements and they're not explaining how it's unifying everyone. Because also in line 15, when they say, as a result of Western Europe, decentralized government, a shared religion was a source of unity, they don't explain that because first they're talking about a decentralized government, but then they're saying that they had unity through religion, but they don't explain, they don't make the connection between an intricate architecture and great height and unity. To me, they didn't really connect anything, so I feel like it's a one note.
We could also throw the interpretation off is that like when I was reading the thesis, I didn't see this part in it really. But like I kind of seen it in the third section talk about religion system and stuff like that, but I didn't see this part in the
What part are you talking about?
the assertion part when it says all the Africans do not have external
Okay. I see Symphony's and Hannah's point of view now, like a one, because in like line 3, Africa civilization was just as prosperous compared to civilizations in Western Europe. I thought that as like equality, like they both have the same right, but like as Symphony and Hannah pointed out, like their like assertion and thesis, it's kind of not like sticking together. Like they have like different ideas like going against each other. So like when I see that, like I really like see their point of view as like this should be a one.
To add on to what Daisha, to add on to what Daisha said, so in their assertion, they're saying that Africa and Europe are equal in like development of religion, but their thesis is saying that Western Europe surpassed West Africa in terms of development. So it's very contradicting, and also like their assertions too is going against their original argument, and that also like threw me off in the paragraph because like which one are you arguing?
Also, in the thesis, line 4, it says Africa's isolation from other surrounding civilizations gave it the chance to grow and understand about the help of others, like Western Europe had. That was kind of like directly comparing the two when originally I think they wanted to show how they were both equal.
But they said that Western Europe has surpassed West Africa, so that's still contradicting. If they're equal, they're not saying that they are.
I thought, okay, actually, like, this is the one. Because, so, I was looking at the justification, and it says Western Europe's ability to come together in such a size reveals the characteristics of what? Of culture which many develop to the, it was confusing because I don't understand what you're going to talk about, if you're talking about unity or the external assistance. And what actually threw me off was the context where it talks about after the fall of the Roman Empire, Europe split into Western and Eastern Europe, or Eastern Europe. Well, why are you talking about Eastern Europe? You were talking about Western Europe. So, yeah, I think it's a one. And I thought, and I was looking at the rubric, it says generally understandable, not mostly, like most of their ideas do not connect to each other. So it was generally and mostly explanated, and I feel like it was related, not really actually connect, because most of the things that they're talking about is not in their assertion. So yeah, this is a one.
All right, have we reached a consensus, team? It seems like yes. Can someone sort of just summarize one more time for my outside peeps why we decided on a one?
So, not to call anybody out, but Jordan, do you have like any ideas, or do you want to summarize like what we have said so far?
I said it was a one because like the assertion, like the interpretation doesn't really like explain the evidence, like doesn't connect to the assertion. So
I'm
But I think it's a question. Because even though the scholar didn't really focus on what they was arguing, I think basically at least they tried. So that's why I will give it to for trying and not just giving up on what they were trying to argue.
I think the difference is there's a difference between trying and actually doing it. And kind of like Anand said, they had potential, but they didn't work up to where they needed to be for their assertion. So the assertion set them up to have a very long interpretation that thoroughly explained it, but they didn't meet up to the needs of their assertion. So that's why we gave it a 1, because they couldn't answer what they needed to answer in their assertion.
What part of the assertion, threw it off? I think personally, if they got rid of something in the assertion, that would help tremendously. What part of it, kind of as Symphony was saying, made it seem like they're having to interpret a whole lot of stuff?
It says Africa, although Africa did not have external systems to create their civilization.
I think if they just got rid of that and then they just talk about both societies having religion, now that's a little bit easier to tackle, right? And simply saying they have too much and then they don't even do one part of it that well. So that's how we get to sort of relating to the assertion, because they chewed off a bit more than I think they could tackle, and rather than having the connect. Very nice job, inside group. Go ahead and grab your belongings out, grab all of your stuff, and then transition outward. My outside peeps, come on in. We'll be focusing on interpretation number 2. Very nice job, inside group. Outside group, make sure you're on your note-taking page. That way you are ready to jot down the brilliant things that you hear the inside group discussing. Inside group, go ahead and, I love your enthusiasm, come on up, get after it.